Okay, everybody, so this is my review of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 5, Truth. This is the penultimate episode of the season. We are already here. This is a shorter season. So, I really did like most of this episode. And what I liked about this episode, it had a lot of great character, emotional beats, but it also kept things going at a better pace to me than previous episodes, but also it had a lot of interesting things developed and a few surprises that are huge. But if we see how this started out, I do like that what they've done with John Walker and that you do, in a sense, feel for him losing Lamar. So they're giving him the justification of why he exploded with having the serum in his veins now, losing his best friend, and now really going into the deep end. And then not just losing his best friend, but now he's facing the consequences of his action. They're literally giving him honorable discharge. So it's not just affecting him as being Captain America anymore. It's affecting his past honors, and now he has no rank in retirement. They say no benefits, so he's really getting hit with everything. And he's like, "I am Captain America," and they're like, "Well, not anymore." So it is a great setup this episode for John Walker now becoming U.S. agent by the end. And if you haven't checked it out, make sure to see there's a post-credits scene here all about that, which we'll get to. But it's setting up him now as a great villain. And what it's setting up is also, which is the biggest surprise, and my jaw dropped, was Julia Louis-Dreyfus just showing up here. It's incredible how MCU is so good at keeping certain things under wrap. This really surprised me. I had no idea this was coming. Nobody did. And it was such a shocker, not just in the character that she's presumably playing, but in the just actress being now in the MCU. It was just crazy, especially it's such a big name in the TV format of MCU just appearing like that. So that didn't even happen in WandaVision. That's really cool to have an actor of that level just jump on with no one knowing ahead of time. So props to Kevin Feige keeping that under wraps. They always think of things that, I mean, I don't know how they do it. Like, I'm just still trying to process that. It's really cool to me. And what's exciting about it is that she's got like the streak of purple in her hair and her name's Val, right? So, you know, to confirm, people will do this in Easter egg videos about her being probably Val Cooper from the comics, and that she is a character whose presidential affairs on mutant affairs in the comics. I don't know if they're going to go that route, but get the X-Men talk going again. Let's get the mutant talk going. Get the hype ready. But even if it doesn't go that route, it's also what I'm talking about saying a villain with John Walker. She's now getting set up as, like, to me, like this Nick Fury on the bad guy type, and it's also setting up now placement for, it seems like, this villain group that's going to be a thread that at least is going to go through the shows that are more in the grounded reality, not the Loki and WandaVision types, but let's look at like the War Machine show coming out or Hawkeye. I feel like they're going to have a group starting with John Walker led by Val here, where she's recruiting people for the wrong reasons, and that could be really interesting, and that they're kind of going to probably cross over from show to show here. So I like that, and I like that they're setting up, we're not seeing the end of John Walker here, and he'll be going in a different route, not just the John Walker we've seen, but even crazier, which I think is so exciting. And now, you know, I'm always nitpicking stuff, and there's stuff I always love and don't like, and it was interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about how they kind of wrapped up Zemo here. I like that they were at the Sokovia gravesite that they've set up for us to finally see. I thought it was just silly when Bucky points the gun at him and then just decided to do a magic trick and not have bullets. I don't know why Bucky felt so comical to do that right there. I just felt that was so weird and was not written as a natural moment, but written for what needed to happen in the script to happen. It was just like a writing trick, which I wasn't really crazy about. And we see Wakanda just take Zemo here. I don't know. It just felt a little flat. But what I did really like was in this Baltimore storyline with Isaiah Bradley now coming back into the fold, and we got much needed time with Sam, and we really needed more and more time with Sam, and this episode gave us a lot of Sam stuff, which I thought I've been waiting for, to just, like, I feel like I still don't really even know Sam, and now I know him a lot more after this episode. I'm still a little upset that we don't know more about his backstory pre Captain America Civil War, and like, why is he this Falcon suit? Where did he get this? I wish we knew more about that, but I get they only have so much time to cover things, and they have to set his story up for his big future. But what was important about this Isaiah Bradley thing is that we know when you watch a show, right, and a show that's going to be this big, there's always something in the air, they say, meaning what's on people's mind in the world that's watching it, in particular the country they're watching in. And this hits on a lot of current day themes. And that's what not just Marvel, but Disney's really good at, always trying to hit something that's going to speak to people right now. And they're talking about the world's different now, but that's when Isaiah Bradley's like, well, then if it's different, why are you here now? So it's going into how much have we really changed and grown. And I love just the whole dialogue here about they'll never let a black man be Captain America. And if they do, no self-respecting black man would want to be Captain America. So it's just doing a good job at having it such a complicated issue for Sam and what he's taking on and how he's going to look at it differently and do it differently than Steve. And it pays off because I love that he has this line to Bucky later. He's like, Steve is gone. It doesn't matter what Steve thought. Got to stop looking to others to tell you who you are. So I think that really got us into Sam's head and where he's grown as a character from the beginning. And what's so important is the character of Isaiah Bradley to Sam is that Sam is seeing a version of what he would have became if he was just ignorant and didn't learn from history. Now he's learning from someone who suffered and is giving him this almost advice in a sense. And he's got sure that, like he says, he's bitter, but can you blame him? And Sam kind of is trying to find this almost like new way to be a Cap and not be ignorant about what he is and what he's doing now and the world he still is in and preserving history, as he says to his sister, and how they say that they're keeping the boat. It's the same thing all connecting here thematically really well. And it makes me excited for this character, Sam, that he's going to be his own entity, but still have that respect for Steve Rogers himself. Maybe, but totally kind of changing the look now of the Stars and Stripes and the Shield. And why it got another exciting development is that Bucky got this suit made for him from the Wakandas, which was just awesome. And I wish we got to see it at the end. We didn't, but it makes me hyped to see what this new outfit's going to look like for Sam. And it's exciting too because, you know, they write that line. I think that was just important to keep it still hopeful for Sam. And he's like, what would point of pain and sacrifice it wasn't willing to stand up and keep fighting? And it nicely transitions to his little Rocky montage with the shield. I thought that was pretty cool. I almost wish they didn't show that in the trailer and kind of let that just be a surprise for us. I think that would have hit harder, but so be it. Gotta love, though, you know, I did like some of this boat sequence. I think it went a little long and they kept going back to the boat, which felt a little slow for a penultimate episode where it was like, okay, this probably would be a little more patience for middle of the season, but I just rolled my eyes that they had to get this blatant Heineken product placement in with Bucky and Sam. It's on Disney Plus. This is superheroes. I'm not really crazy about that, to be honest. I don't want to sound like, you know, a conservative parent. I'm not a parent myself, but that just felt odd to me because there's even one point when Bucky goes to sip his Heineken, like he has to purposely show that label. I thought that was kind of strange that they kind of snuck that in on Disney Plus. It just didn't feel right, especially on like a family service. That was strange. But I guess we do it in sports anyway, and kids watch sports, so be it. I don't know why I'm going on this rant right now. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's 4 a.m. here on East Coast time. But here's another thing, too, is like you look at the Sharon Carter thing, that also kind of throws me off a bit because she's this mysterious character now. It seems like she's offering someone double now to do another favor. But then you kind of look at it, the point of the day, you're just like, what was the point of Sharon even in this series, to be honest? I mean, she had kind of her one episode, and now she's kind of just had a scene each episode. They're teasing what she's really about. But I don't put it against the show, but I think it's kind of funny that she was so promoted in this show to be a main character, and she really isn't. So I wonder what her deal will be in the finale and how they're going to wrap that up. I guess she's just more of setting up, is she a villain? Is she going to be part of this Val entity? We'll see. But other good stuff here was Sam having tough love for Bucky and calls out Bucky for avenging and not amending about his whole little play here and recovering, and them talking about Steve's book, which I really liked. So I thought that was good for Bucky's character as well, and then I felt I knew Bucky a little more too. So I did think it was just better in the sense that we were spending time a lot with Sam and Bucky together and them learning stuff together and evolving together. And I think this episode did that really well. So it's setting up now for this finale where Karli hires George. Don't know how this guy's still alive, but he wants revenge on Falcon. He was in the first episode. He was also in Civil War. He keeps going, this dude. And she wants to stop this GRC vote in NYC to move refugees. So you could see the writing on the wall for that's going to be kind of the action sequence for us to really, what we're really hyped to see is Sam in his new suit, right? And be this new version of Falcon, Captain, whatever we're going to call it, with his Wakandan armor, which would be awesome. But we're going to see this is going to be this showdown now with Karli and the Flag Smashers and Sam and what's going to go on there. But the post-credit scene, again, another exciting development. It's awesome that we're seeing now John Walker. I like how they have him do his best Iron Man impression and how he's building his own U.S. agent shield. It's exciting, though. I don't know if we'll even actually, believe it or not, see him in the finale. I feel like they might save that as a thread to be even leading into next week's post-credit scene, which will lead into the other shows, like I'm saying, with Iron Wars, I think the War Machine show's going to call, and Hawkeye. So we'll see, but maybe he will be, and we're already get U.S. Agent. Either way, I thought this was a solid episode. I'm going to give it an 8.4. I again think that there's still too much boat time, and it still suffers from things I've complained about the whole season that, I don't know, it doesn't feel like this natural rhythm to it, and it doesn't feel like it was plotted out perfectly. And then people were sharing with me like problems they had with COVID, and that they had originally written a script that was about something that was pandemic related. So I get they had to, all these extra struggles that they deal with, and I understand that. But yeah, it just feels odd. The show in general feels odd, but I thought this was a step in the right direction. I just wish some of these stories got moving a little quicker earlier in the season to get to a more exciting, maybe penultimate episode, because this feels like it would have been a really good, like, episode 3 maybe. So I still really enjoyed it, though. So I'll give it 8.4. Let me know what you thought of it down below. I read every comment and try to respond to as many as I can. Please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss one of my reviews of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm also going to be doing Loki, and I also do other superhero shows coming out, like Jupiter's Legacy I'm going to do, and I do shows and movies in general. So please follow me at Steve Varley Show on Twitter and Instagram for more of me, and I'll see you next time.